didn't leave you behind.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to A Snugpod Cast. We are going to speed through this because we don't have much time. Well, we have some time. Well, some of us have time. Some of us don't. But we're going to get through this. I'm Never Separate. I'm host 1 of 3, and I have 2 other hosts because that's how math works. I've got Gwen the Bard. How are you?
I am doing amazing. How about you?
Like amazing, like Barbie amazing, or just like amazing?
Like, I just, not even 10 minutes ago got pulled a writ that was almost 300 writ vouchers worth and was super easy for me to make amazing.
Sweet. I'm doing all right. I'm a little sad. My wife's gonna leave me again, but this is kind of a routine.
I'm rolling my eyes at you already.
My wife leaves me
all
regularly. Right. And gone crazy back soon. What's up?
Nothing much. Happy to be here in the Snuggy Pod.
Yeah. Me too, I guess.
You guess?
I'm sad. Remember, my wife's leaving me.
Oh my.
Oh, I thought you were going to be one of those cats that complains every time I move the furniture.
Yeah. That's what I was hearing.
I just find a different place to sit and, curl up and, cry my eyes out in my bowl of milk.
Nice. Nice.
All right. Well, there's some news and some other stuff that we keep saying we're going to get to, so maybe we will.
Maybe.
But to get started with, what have you guys been up to in game? Crazy, you want to go
first? Sure. I worked 55 hours this week, which means I had time to log in and log out and log in and log out. And that's pretty much it. I did a couple writs here and there, and yeah. Other than that, didn't do a whole lot, sadly. That's
nice.
it.
Know that feeling. What about you, Gwen?
I have just been infinitely crafting.
I wish I was infinitely crafting.
Between ESO and working on my cosplays, it is somehow up to 3. I don't know.
Oh boy.
At least one of them will be done. Yeah. How's it? What about you? What have you been up to, Never?
Not a whole lot. I have also logged in and out and in and out and in and out. And I got a little excited because I heard about the event that's going on that we'll talk about in a few minutes. And then got deflated when I found out how it worked. Yeah, that's been pretty much it. I don't think I've actually done much in the way of actual playing. Although I should have been running some stuff to get some decon gear for getting my crafting stuff up on my Arcanist, but that's not super important to me these days. So maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't. But anyway.
Hey, really quick, sorry to interrupt you, but we just got raided by
What?
Toasted Peanut.
What?
Welcome in, peeps. Thanks for being here.
Anybody want a peanut?
He says, much love, friends. And I said, love you. And he says, no, you. So, welcome in if you're joining us.
We've been assaulted by the peanuts. Anyway, thank you for coming in.
Assaulted.
Yeah.
He's been in Cyrodiil all day, so he probably is a little salty.
Oh, you probably is a very salty
Got
peanut.
peanuts in your Cyrodiil?
Ew. Sounds like peanuts in your cereal, which is a lot.
Yeah.
He said, I brought some salty PvPers that have massive PvPness and need some softy loving snuggles. Oh no.
Oh.
He said, actually, it was a good run today. And Moki says, the peanut gallery.
There we go. That's a good one.
That's a good one. You should name your people that. The peanut gallery. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, everybody.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to shout that out before we got too far.
No, all good. All good. We have news. I don't think I've even seen... The only thing I've seen news for has been the event that I mentioned a moment ago. But do we want to start there since we've already kind of talked about it?
Sure.
It's a little out of order, but we can go ahead and get it out of the way, I guess. So there's an event going on. It runs through what, the 20th? Is that Tuesday? Yes. Um, so it's a crafting event, and you get a whole bunch of extra stuff around crafting related activities. Um, so it's during this event you've got 100% inspiration gain to all crafting skill lines. So whenever you decon or create or whatever, you're going to get um, basically double the experience for your crafting. They call it inspiration, but it's essentially experience. 100% rich. Um, 100% writ vouchers earned from master writs created during the event.
You
Created is an
could be
important
rich.
word. Yes. Because when I first heard about this, it sounded as if the the vouchers were going to be like any of them that you already had would be doubled, but it doesn't work that way. It's just the ones that you get during the event. Um, but if you do a lot of writs, that still can end up being pretty profitable if you're grabbing a lot of master writs from this. Um, Increased drops from harvest nodes does not include fishing or creature drops such as leather. 50% reduction in transmute crystal costs for changing item traits, which does require a transmute station found in Clockwork City or through player homes. And um, increased chance of receiving improvement materials such as tempering alloy or mastic when deconstructing equipment on an appropriate rarity. I thought that I heard that the transmute reduction also applied to creating items from the transmute station. It doesn't say that here. Am I missing that?
There was some catch with that I had heard whisperings of during this week, and I'm not sure what it was. I think it's only a reduction on reconstruction,
Well,
maybe?
this says that it's for changing traits.
Oh, just kidding. I'm not
I
sure,
think I
actually.
might have actually heard or read something about there was something going on and that got removed, maybe. Um, I
Oh,
thought,
yes, you're right. Okay, I know what it was. You could make them you could transmute for cheaper than you could reconstruct, which meant that then you could deconstruct what you transmuted and get something back. There was like a
was it giving back the normal amount of transmute stones, or
y-
even though you used less?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, 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 yes. I
yeah. So
think it had
people,
something to do. It was exploits basically for
yeah,
that.
so
Yeah,
people were
Peanut
using
says
it to gain
exploits.
transmute. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'd heard that. I think maybe through another video or something, just kind of in passing, and I didn't really catch it exactly how they explained it. So that makes sense. Um, okay, but it says those bonuses are available to all players in any zone, no matter where you're at. Um, if you're doing those activities, you get those extra rewards. It doesn't grant event tickets, and it doesn't have its own unique quests, achievements, or collectibles, and there's no impresario for this event. Starts now, runs for the weekend only. Don't miss out. Um, so yeah, so if you're one that does a lot of crafting, then this is going to be really good for you. You're going to just get extra stuff for doing the things that you're already doing anyway. If you're someone who doesn't generally do a lot of crafting, but would like to try to get those skill lines up, now's a good time because you're going to, you're basically going to get a 100% increase to um, how quickly those skill lines will level, which is great because some of those things can be pretty tedious and pretty grindy trying to decon enough things to, especially when you get into like jewelry where it's just hard to come up with enough pieces. Whereas everything else just seems to drop like candy from a parade. Um, the jewelry is just, there's just less sources of it. So, um, yeah, it's a good time to jump in on that. Um, Other than that, that's pretty straightforward. It's not anything else you want to say on that, either one of you.
Uh, no, I think that's pretty much it.
You
Okay.
covered it all, Kitty.
Yeah. Um, so, all right. So we can just jump back up to the top there in our notes and work our way back down. I haven't seen any of this stuff yet, so I'm gonna be flying blind. Yay! All
All
right.
right, well, let's start right at the top. Let's go.
Yeah. Community champions. What we got?
Nominate your fellow players for the ESO Community Champions. Salute! Alright, basically what this is I will just read it. Elder Scrolls Online is made great by its dedicated community, and few are more important to ESO's success than those who put their fellow players first by providing guidance, positivity, and support. In this spirit, we're happy to announce the ESO Community Champions Initiative, giving you the opportunity to showcase and celebrate the community members who make your time in Tamriel so special. Do you know of a player who you believe should be heralded as a paragon of the community? We want you to nominate them by filling out the form below. Submissions will remain open until February 26th. Soon after, we will review and then publish our community champions on both the official website and social channels. Look out for them.
I think that's so cool.
What I think is interesting is, because I have been everywhere on social media this week, is the initial take. Because originally there was a lot of negative feedback going, oh, it's a popularity contest for streamers and stuff. So there was initially a lot of negative feedback until people kind of were like, what if we didn't just say who we watch on stream all the time?
Yeah.
And then the conversation from there started getting a lot more interesting.
Well, yeah, and there's quite a few of the stream team members who have been like, hey, this is not about nominating people who stream all the time. This is about nominating people who you feel like are helpful in your community, or who help you in your guild, or people that you've run into in the game that you feel are valuable. So I feel like a lot of them have tried to re-steer it as well, which I think has been pretty great of those people, you know?
For sure, for sure.
So I always appreciate that sort of a humble take on stuff like that.
I submitted who I thought was a good champion. It's a secret, but I submitted who I thought was a good champion.
I know. I've got a couple in mind. I'm kind of like trying to get it in my head, like, okay, which way do I go? What do I do?
And you have to, when you submit it, you have to do it in 300 words or less.
Oh, wow. See,
Yep.
and there's so many people that do such amazing things for the community, or who have done such amazing things. Like another one I was just looking at a second ago, Benevolent Bodhi. Like,
Right.
you know, not necessarily a streamer or anything like that, but does this calendar that like literally the entire community uses.
Exactly.
So, you know, there's a lot of people like that I'm sure will hopefully get recognition, but yeah, it's very cool. So
The way I see it is submit someone who has been very helpful to you, your experience with the game itself.
mm-hmm.
And then if you do use social media, like quote tweet or use the hashtag and at everyone who you think deserves recognition.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, because then it you know, helps people too. Like, even if you can only submit one per account or whatever, then you can at least still show people. And if they have social media, it's great, because then they can have people follow them and see the other stuff that they do too. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it can be anybody. Even like you joined a guild because the GM of the guild saw you looking for help in the, you know, out in the world, and helped you out and crafted you some gear and invited you to the guild and brought you to the guild hall, and you know, hooked you up with players that were doing the same kind of activities. And you know, maybe you were thinking about quitting the game because you didn't have people to play with, and now all of a sudden you've got a whole community of people that play the game kind of the same way you do, all because one person just like happened to come across you in, you know, in game, and was like, hey, need some help, and you know, nominate somebody like that.
Yeah, for sure. So it's really cool that there's no like stipulations on it. It lets people have the freedom to choose who they want, which is great.
Yep.
So very cool. Love that. Next one's a big deal for you, Gwen.
I did not totally just write that in all caps for absolutely no reason, I swear.
I love it so much. This one is submit your entry for the ESO 10th anniversary celebration cosplay contest. Yeah! It says showcase your ESO themed cosplay at the 10th anniversary celebration in-person event, and you could win exciting prizes. On April 5th, 2024, we are heading to Amsterdam, Netherlands to commemorate a whopping 10 years of adventures in the Elder Scrolls Online with the community. As previously mentioned, in the ESO 10th anniversary celebration announcement article, we are organizing an in-person cosplay contest and want you to be there. Well, I want to be there too, but I can't. Anyway, to be considered for the contest, visit the registration and pre-screening form below to provide details on your ESO-themed cosplay for review. Keep an eye out for more information coming soon regarding the contest's official rules, including prizes and judging categories. So there's a link where you can actually submit for it. And then the entries that are selected get granted free access, which is incredible, to the event. And then they get to participate in the official contest in Amsterdam. And you have to physically, of course, attend the celebration to participate. So
what happens when you click submit is because it says pre-screening. Pre-screening means it is a pre-jury. So you are already being judged on your cosplay before you even actually start the contest. That's what that is. What happens when you click submit is you need to submit a photo of yourself out of your cosplay and a photo of yourself in your cosplay. Works in progress are accepted. I have not done this yet. There is quite a bit more I would like to do on my costume before I submit it. If it gets filled up and I can't submit it before that, such as life. But there are a couple more things I want to get done before I submit it.
I would cry for you if you couldn't get to do it, because you're working so hard.
I mean, this is my dream cosplay. This is literally my dream cosplay. I've been wanting to make this costume since 2021.
I just got logged out, but it was weird because I literally just moved my camera. Sorry, everybody.
Weird.
Hold tight. You can keep going, Gwen.
Yeah, this is literally my dream cosplay. I have been wanting to make it for a few years at this point, but I kept putting it off because I decided, well, no one's going to know this character at any of the conventions I go to. It's not worth it. I wear cosplay for the reason of meeting people who also have the same interest. I was like, God, why can't there just be an Elder Scrolls convention so I could wear this thing, so I could make it? And I was going to make it this year anyway. I decided I was going to make it this year anyway, and then literally just a week after I started making the costume, they're like, hey, we're doing it at this convention with the cosplay contest. I'm like, you're freaking kidding.
I have to know, since you've been posting things, is your dream cosplay the one that you had the wig that you were testing the wig for, or is it some of the other pieces? Oh yeah.
No, if anyone has actually had it figured it out at this point, because it's pretty obvious if you look at a lot of different things that I've been posting. Don't say it. I haven't told anyone. My husband doesn't know. My sisters don't. No one knows. We haven't actually said the words. I'm pretty sure he has it figured out at this point too. But we haven't said the words, and we're not going to, because the second we say it, I won't finish it. That's just how it always works. So we're not saying the words.
Okay.
We're not saying it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm gonna go back and look at some of your stuff because I need to piece it together. I think I have an idea, but I need to double check myself.
For categories, I know this would definitely be a novice cosplay, not because it's not going to be well done and completed, but it's going to be novice considering a lot of the techniques and materials and stuff that I'm using this time around. It's my first time using them. I am sculpting facial things with liquid latex. I did a plaster cast of my face the other day, so that way I could make sure they would fit my face as I sculpt them. And then some wonderful people in the ESO cosplay community have been asking questions, and they've been telling me how to seal foam so it can still bend, because I've never needed it to bend my things to bend before, but these I do. I have literally redone this hip belt 3 times now, and I'm finally satisfied with it. And by 3 times, that's 3 times on 8 different pieces, because there's 4 pieces to each side of the hip, each hip.
Oh my gosh.
And I've redone it 3 times now, and now it's good. Now it's amazing. I'm keeping it the way it is. But I've had to do it 3 times.
Holy moly.
So it's going to be, I'm really looking forward to it being done. And I am going to finish it anyway, because it wasn't supposed to be done until October, but we're fast-tracking it.
We're fast traveling.
Yeah, we're fast traveling this. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the cosplay contest. If you can get to Amsterdam, you should enter it.
Heck yeah. I'm loving seeing what people's are already working on too. Like seeing, Raymond, and I always love seeing like Raymond and Geo and all their stuff. So it's cool.
Kalia has been making an Argonian face, and it's been really cool watching that like slowly build up.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I cannot wait to see her stuff. So good. Hey,
But yeah.
you know what else was really fun and good? All of the community spotlight Hearts Day stuff, which we got featured in.
Yeah, getting an ESO forum account was worth it.
So excited. Snuggy Pod got featured on the Hearts Day article.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. But before we get to us, let's talk about all the other people. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so they had the Hearts Day 2024 creations that came from the forums as a community spotlight. And it says, fall in love with the beautiful efforts of the ESO community as they prepare for Hearts Day, which is not Valentine's Day, by the way. Hearts Day is on the 16th. And it's a summoning day.
It's also Sanguine Summoning Day. Yeah.
Sanguine, yeah.
Means
So
make
it
bad
says-
decisions. Do it.
It says, but we don't talk about that. I love it. Says, Hearts Day is approaching, and the wonderful Tamrielic celebration of love and beauty. It's also the summoning day of the Daedric Prince Sanguine, but we don't talk about that. With these tender themes in mind, the ESO fam set out to curate scenes of romance, passion, and seasonal wonder. We searched through the results and adored them all, but here are just a few of our favorites. So there's some really beautiful housing things here. You definitely should just go look at this article, to be honest, to really get the full effect. But we've got some really pretty, like, housing. Some people made, like, a chapel. And then there is Bastion waiting for you on the beach in this one person's house. There's a wedding that there's actually photos of, which is really awesome. There is a Sweethearts Retreat, which is a private tea room. And then somebody made this amazing like setup that looks like a box of chocolates and flowers, which is fantastic. There is a picnic at Sweetwater Cascades. There is a shrine and a hand fasting ceremony and a wedding carriage that somebody built. Then there's us. It says 3 friends enjoying Hearts Day together in a snug pod, complete with sweet rolls and lore books. Yay! I didn't realize that's the angle you took that photo from. I love it. So that's us. And then there's some more weddings. There's a springtime villa of the Ravenhurst house. There is a Hearts Day feast. Oh gosh, what else? Baron Jangleplume gathered a bunch of things in this one picture, which I think is super fun. And then there's a Hearts. Oh, this one is like a self-care one. It says another Hearts Day alone and Ralkaha, so another night for self-care. I feel like I needed to. Oh, it is. There's a sheet in that picture. Mm-hmm. They're like sitting in a tub. Super fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Gwen, what made you decorate the way you decorated for the picture to get us featured?
I own these red items.
I love it. And that was the week in Snugpod you were like, everyone needs to change their outfit.
Yes, I was very demanding. And like our entry, there are a lot of others here who only have one photo shown. And there's different angles and a lot of other photos of these also in the forums if people want to go to the forum post with all these in it to look at all of the different angles and photos as well.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And that is the Community Spotlight, which we were honored to be a part of. All right. Oh man, I didn't see this next one.
Signs of Athelia preview, Oathsworn Pit.
Oh, so excited. You're an orc. Do you want to talk
I am an
about it?
orc. I can talk about it. I'll talk about it. All right.
Can orcs talk?
Wow, Khajiit. Go back to drinking your moon sugar before the orc beats you up.
Actually, I don't think she has a weapon equipped, honestly. Despite this, like, awesome
she doesn't
armor.
need one. She's an orc. She can hurt you with her bare hands. She's a crafter. She has very strong hands from blacksmithing.
Fair point. All right. Prove your might to Malakath and enact revenge on behalf of his faithful in Oathsworn Pit. One of the 2 new dungeons coming soon with Scions of Athelia to challenge you and your party. By the way, she's a wood orc. Arriving March 11th for PC and March 26th for console. The Oathsworn Pit is one of the 2 all-new dungeons within the upcoming Scions of Athelia dungeon DLC pack. A launch, you can take on this new challenge via ESO Plus. Okay. Or purchase it from the Crown Store. Got it. Agent of Malakath. A training ground for Malakath's most devoted followers, the Oathsworn Pit has recently been overrun by a mysterious new group of wood elves. The God of Curses demands retribution for his fallen warriors, and you and your party have been chosen to act in his name. The Oathsworn Pit is where Malakath's devotees train in various styles of combat. In various combat styles, and learn to follow the code of Moloch. Explains Helena Walkus, one of ESO's written designers. The Oathsworn recently welcomed a group of wood elves to the pit, but the newcomers betrayed their trust. It's up to the players to deal out Malakath's vengeance and rescue what remains of the Oathsworn before they are all killed. When writing the story for this dungeon, the team saw an opportunity to explore the many facets of an oft misunderstood and malign Daedric prince. Malakath's an interesting prince. He is the Lord of Ashenbone, the Oathbreaker, and the God of Curses. But to orcs, he's Moloch, the Lord of the Sworn Oath, defender of the betrayed, explains Walkus. With this dungeon, we explore how orcs view Malak. He might be a vengeful and bloody Daedric prince, and the Oathsworn reflect this too. But when his followers' trust is betrayed, he'll make sure that dishonor is repaid. In addition to an exploration of Malakath and his cult, Oathsworn Pit also introduces one of the major factions you'll encounter in the upcoming Gold Road chapter, the Recollection. The group of wood elves who attack the pit play a major part in the next chapter's story. I don't want to give too much away, but the Recollection has a lot of schemes and plans that won't be immediately apparent. Something to look out for in this dungeon. Battle in the lodges. Saving the Oathsworn from the Recollection is no simple task. Since any force able to overwhelm Malakath's chosen is capable indeed. Thankfully, you are joined by the orc Bazrog, who assists you in battling the invaders, avoiding their many traps, and uncovering the secrets of the Oathsworn. In addition to this powerful ally, cunning adventurers may find their ways to use the environment to their advantage. The Oathsworn built their temple and all 3 of their lodges around an enormous pit, says Shane Slama, one of ESO's senior content designers. The pit is featured throughout as you quest through the area, even allowing those who sneakily to use it to their advantage to dispatch some overconfident members. Does that mean we can use the Blade of Woe? Of course, you'll need all the help you can get when it comes to the dungeon's 3 challenging bosses. The first boss, Rathalos, blocks your path in the Lodge of the Fist and has a destructive bond with his wolf, Malthi, explains Lemma. Coordinated group positioning and combating this bond will be top priority. Anthlamir and her construct are next in the Lodge of the Axe. Together, they pack a fiery wallop, and you'll want to mind your surroundings. You may just develop an unhealthy fear of wooden barrels. Oh, that's... ew. Okay. Should you make it past the first 2 lodges, Oathsworn Pit's final boss, and leader of the invading band, is Aradoros, the Awakened. who makes judicious use of fire magic to transform the floor into an inferno. You'll definitely don't want to be caught flat-footed against Arados, warns Llama. If you find a method to turn the tide and fight fire with fire, don't hesitate. Vengeful rewards. If you enact Malakath's will and cleanse the Oathsworn Pit of the Usurpers, you'll find no shortage of rewards for your deeds. This includes collectibles, achievements, and item sets, many unique to this dungeon. For example, complete Oathsworn Pit on Veteran difficulty, and you'll earn the Malakath's dropped helmet memento. Even better, complete both Oathsworn Pit and Bedlam Vale, the other Scions of Athelia dungeon, on Veteran difficulty, and you'll receive the Blood Marks of Malakath skin. Oathsworn Pit also holds 3 unique item sets and new monster helm. These new item sets provide powerful boons which you can experience by donning the Cinders of Athelmer Light set. Dealing damage to the foe while wearing this set creates a cinder moth next to you who will chase your enemy, explains Nadav Petrold, one of ESO's combat designers. When your foe gets too close to a cinder moth, the moth builds up energy before bursting into a large explosion, dealing flame damage and applying the burning status effect. With special collectibles, challenging achievements, and powerful item sets up for grabs, Malakath offers great boons to those strong enough to claim them. The God of Curses needs you. Take up arms against the enemies of Malakath and liberate the Oathsworn Pit from its Wood Elf invaders. A challenge worthy of the Lord of Monsters awaits in this new 4-player dungeon coming as part of the Scions of Athelia DLC to ESO Plus and in the Crown Store. Once again, that will be part of Update 41, arriving March 11th to PC and March 26th to console.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Sounds like we're going to have a limited window to beat both of those dungeons before I go to Amsterdam.
Yeah, it also sounds like there's going to be a lot of things that I shouldn't stand in.
Yeah, I'm like, you are literally going to be standing in lava. The floor is going to be literally lava. As soon as I read those barrels, I immediately was picturing you messing up. I mean, yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
She just said she wants to test your healer game and make sure you can heal her through it.
Yeah, that's honestly what it is. I'm just really prepping you for trials. I figured you might need additional,
Seriously, the first time I did trials on, like, PC, I was like, they're just like, wow, you're doing amazing. Yeah, you're doing great. I'm like, I've got a lot of practice.
I think I chimed in and literally said, yeah, that's because she's used to me, and I don't stand still. Oh, gosh. It's so sad. Anyway. Throw down trees and hope I roll through them. That's all, I guess. Anyway.
There's a reason I use AoE heals.
That's right. That's right. Goodness me. Goodness me.
Anyway.
Have either of you played, oh my gosh, Hrothgar. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
The quest line, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done all of the side stuff, but I have.
The Bazag! I know! I was like, yeah!
I was like, did you recognize the name?
I knew it sounded familiar, but I had forgotten that's where that comes from.
Chief Bazrag. We'll be seeing him again. So he's the chieftain of Clan Farron. Or Faerun? Yeah, Farron? I can't remember. Faerun or Farron?
He was the one that originally was going, no, I'm not going to be okay with this.
Yeah, he opposes Kurog and Trinimac.
Yep.
So.
Immediately, he's the first one that opposes them.
Mm-hmm. The interesting, too, is that and I didn't remember this, like, I looked him up on UESP a second ago, and it says he was once known as Bazrag the Butcher when he was a member of Gaspard's Stalkers, a mercenary company that operated across Hammerfell and Cyrodiil. So he was... It's a mercenary group of orcs.
Sounds like a pleasant fellow.
Well, both Kurog and him were members of it. So that was before they became, I don't want to spoil that plot line, but
Before they became chieftains to their own sects, basically.
Yes. And apparently he's mentioned, or the Gaspard Stalkers are mentioned in 2 books that are found in game, 2 lore books. One is the Chronicles of King Kurog, and the other one is the Crafting Motif number 9, which is for the mercenary style. And that's by Gaspard Esmery, who is the leader, or the captain, of Gaspard's Stalkers. So it was the guide for crafting armor and weapons in the mercenary style. So there you go. If you want some extra little bit of lore books or some lore to read, now you have 2. Cool. All right, how are we feeling on this next thing? Are we going to give it a go, or are we going to be like, no, we'll do it again next week?
Well, I think we can probably. I mean, we're only at 35 minutes right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think
we're
we have
gonna lose Gwen in about 10 or 12. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to go through and hit every little thing, but kind of skim over. Maybe catch some highlights.
Cool.
I mean,
So
there's a lot of stuff like item sets. We don't have to necessarily talk about every item set that's coming out.
No, exactly. So we're going to skim over the PTS really quick, the patch notes, and see what looks interesting to us. So we've basically talked about the Scions of Athelia stuff. We've talked a little bit about the dungeons and all of that. But I want to get to some of the Update 41 base game stuff, like the stackable siege and the unified repair kits and whatnot. Let's get down to there.
Additionally, Cyrodiil repair kits also have been unified. You'll no longer require Siege repair kit, keep Wall Masonry repair kit, keep Door woodwork, and so on. And now there's just a Cyrodiil repair kit that will work on all the things that used to have individual repair kits. These can be purchased for 250 Alliance points or 90 gold from various merchants.
That's amazing. Do you know how much inventory space that's going to save?
Do you know how many trunk spaces that's going to save? I literally have trunks of Siege stuff in my house. Like, that's why I have those 60 slot things.
Yeah. The next one's going to make a big difference, too, and that's the stackable siege weaponry. So
yeah, that too.
Yeah, but you can stack them up to 20, but it looks like only if they're at maximum health.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the cool thing is, it says when placing siege weaponry from a quick slot, it will use the weapon with the lowest health in your inventory to make sure that your bag space stays fresh. I kind of love that.
It's a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm. There's also a couple new antiquities. There's one called Torque of the Last Ayleid King.
Real quick, did we mention the regular repair kits before we got into the Cyrodiil stuff?
No.
Your normal equipment repair kits, like you have the lesser, common, greater, grand repair kits, are all going to be unified into one. So instead of, once you get to max level and you've got all these repair kits that, repair gear up to level 9, that seems to be going away. So we'll just have one that's good for everybody, no matter what level you're at. So another good inventory. Yeah, another good inventory management.
I love that they're really trying to help with inventory management at this point, because I think they're realizing, like, we have so much currency, we have so many different things in the game that don't go in your craft bag. We've got to do something.
Yeah, and they keep adding more.
Currency.
Yeah.
Increased Undaunted key rewards. The Undaunted have finally recognized increased difficulty of daily dungeon quests offered by Urglog Chiefbane. Accordingly, the Undaunted key rewards have been increased to incentivize intrepid adventurers to band together and clear out those more dangerous dungeons. This does not affect quests offered by Gilran the Redbeard or Maj al Ragath. So normal keys are moving from 1 to 2 keys, and Veteran is moving from 1 to 3 keys. Veteran hard mode will be 2 to 4 keys.
That's so cool. I love that.
So you were about to touch on that antiquity, but I think I cut you off. Did you want to give some thoughts on that piece of garbage? I mean, that antiquity that's coming out?
I mean, It basically just says you disable all other item set bonuses and increase your damage by 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Yeah, no, you're right. Piece of garbage. Okay.
It just means that your stuff is going to be flat, but you're going to get an additional 20%.
But you're going to lose all the crit and everything else that you would have, plus possible damage procs. And
I mean, not if you make it up in CP.
you don't. Well, I mean, you can't make up. What is that? 10 pieces worth of
Increased
stats?
crit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And then the
There's got to be a reason why they're doing it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
Well, one speculation was, I think I maybe heard Nephis say this, was that maybe they're doing it for all the people that want an increased difficulty in the overland.
Well, that would be cool, actually.
You could just wear gear that doesn't have set bonuses at that point, though. There's no need for an antiquity.
Yeah, but if you put it on, maybe it's an easier way to deal with it than having to take all of your gear off and swap all of your gear.
I guess. I'm going to be real interested to see what kind of, if anybody even comes up with any useful thing to do with this.
Just give Skinny and Hack a few days. They'll figure it out.
It's, I can see it now. The worst builds you've ever seen from us.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Oh wait, there's a developer comment. The item set actively disables any other... No. Yeah. Including one-piece bonuses. You get nothing. You get nothing.
There's got to be a reason.
No. We get 28 new furnishings from Infinite Archive.
And 2 new homes that are going to be available for testing that actually sound really neat.
Okay, so I watched these on the preview stream, and they're really huge.
Yeah.
Like, one of them is basically, hey, here's what Sai Sahan's house is. Enjoy. And the other one is pretty much the exact same thing as Sweetwater Cascades, except on the other side of Blackwood with a cave. You gotta really like the cave, because cave is cave. Yes. But, yeah.
Who doesn't love cave?
Cave. How many times can we say cave?
Starting to get sick of how big these houses are. I just want a small house with a large item cap. That's all I want.
I'm trying to resist saying it again, but I think I just might cave.
Don't cave and buy it for crowns.
How about you both just go fall into that cave in Cyrodiil?
Don't worry, I'm a wood elf. I can fall off things very high. We even have video proof.
I mean, if I walk over it, will it cave in?
Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. New container icons. I think this is interesting because they're changing the icons for stuff. I wonder if that has to do with the way that they're putting stuff in for scribing, but we'll see.
I'm skipping over the prologue stuff.
Yeah, go for that. Skip it. Skip it. Graphics setting.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care in console.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag console pleb. Should we read the status effect thing? Like what the combat and gameplay goals were? Really quick?
Do it.
Okay, it says, "Greetings, a new year is upon us, and I'm particularly citing one at that. With the 10th anniversary of Elder Scrolls Online begins this year, and surely it will be a celebration to remember. With it, the combat team has been working diligently at preparing the game for scribing, and this update holds a few of the meatier adjustments and balancing to prepare for that. Traditionally, the first update of the year focuses on targeting larger systems within combat itself, as well as more in-depth reworks or additions of existing abilities, item sets, etc. This will be seen as well, granted they might not rock the boat as much as other years, since after 10 years the boat is pretty huge. Our goals this update focus mainly on the following: improving the experience of status effects, making damage shields slightly more interactive with the major or minor systems, improving taunts visibility and readability, and targeting some underloved playstyles and abilities with shakeups to their functionality and visuals." So it says, status effects were our main priority, as almost all of them have received new additional functionality changes to help make them more diverse from one another. For example, Poisoned has now been adjusted to deal execute scaling damage, while Concussed deals bonus damage to recently affected targets. Please see a doctor if you experience repeated concussions. In addition, all of the direct damage status effects, Sundered, Overcharged, Concussed, Chill, and Diseased, have received significant damage increases to help them compare better to their overtime counterparts. Of course, with the adjustment of status effects comes plenty of knock-on effects, so we have to change other abilities, passives, and item sets in tandem. Damage shields will now interact with major and minor vitality and defile to make building around them or countering them more available. Taunt will now display how many times a target has recently been taunted in the buff tray, and Taunt Immunity now displays unique visual effects to help improve clarity and understanding, and Taunt Immunity is both harder to experience and less devastating, but you still don't want to have it happen. Moving on, our primary focus for class adjustments was on the Sorcerer class, where we've seen sizable amount of feedback over the years on how the class feels significantly weaker when not using pets, as well as lacking many support options for group interaction. To remedy this, we've reworked a handful of Morph's passive and tweaked a few numbers on abilities. Encase has received numerous improvements to make it more universally applicable. Restraining Prison has been reworked to Vibrant Shroud and is now an area of effect burst heal that also enfeebles enemies, while Daedric Minefield is now Daedric Refuge, which grants you and allies a damage shield when walking over its area. In addition to these bigger reworks, the Expert Summoner passive now offers a dynamic for both pet builds and non-pet builds. Make sure to read more in the Sorcerer section for all the specific adjustments. We've also made a big change to one of the more polarizing Necromancer's abilities, Blast Bones. Both Blast Bones and Stalking Blast Bones have been overhauled and renamed Sacrificial Bones and Gravelord's Sacrifice, respectively. Both versions now summon a skeleton that will sacrifice themselves to the caster to enhance your necromantic abilities and damage over time effects for a duration, with Gravelord's Sacrifice increasing the duration and allowing you to cast a corpse consuming the ability on itself. We specifically did this to reduce intense demand and complex rotation requirement of the class, as Blastbone demands an activation once every 3 seconds, making it difficult to maximize the play around. For those who do enjoy the class's current flow, we've made sure to leave Blighted Blastbones as its original form, albeit slightly cheaper to cast, so you can continue to summon skeletons hellbent on blowing your foes to the hereafter. While the above changes were our main focus, you can still expect to see additional balance tweaks, bug fixes, and other miscellaneous adjustments, so make sure to check out the rest of the notes below. And then it just says, we look forward to seeing you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's a lot of things in combat here. Do we want to read all of them? Do we want to just skim what we feel?
Just say what matters to you.
What matters to you?
Taunt's gonna last less time now, 7 seconds instead of 12. So that's not right. No, because most abilities taunt for like 15 seconds, right? So this is something different. The taunt stack counter. So they'll fall off sooner between multiple. Okay, so that must have to do with taunt immunity. Yeah, all that stuff there's, yeah.
And it's going to show in your... It's going to show in your tray now. Moki says, what? So it reduces the duration of the taunt stack counter to 7 seconds, down from 12. So they fall off sooner between multiple casters. So beforehand, if someone taunted and then someone else taunted, I think there was a cooldown, right?
You could end up getting taunt immunity if...
Yeah, so that cooldown now is going to be less. Like, that taunt immunity is going to be less. It also will now have distinct visual effects, and there will be an additional icon that'll let you know when the target is taunt immune. That way, targets that are naturally immune to taunt will not display that. Moki says, whew! Okay, status effects is a big one.
Yeah.
So, status effects now, to ensure that they're in proper power closer to one another, instead of favoring damage over time, like burning, poison, and hemorrhaging, now they will still remain stronger in terms of their total production, but they have increased the damage that other status effects also deal on their application. So, burning has had its reduction by around 6%. This was, by the way, on the first PTS patch, so it may change depending on how far this all goes. It was used as the standard of power for all the other status effects. Chill will now increase the damage of that status effect by 106%. Concussed is also increased by 106%, but it now deals an additional 15% of damage to targets that have recently been concussed. So it operates basically the same way that Wall of Elements does. Diseased increases the damage by 88%, and it deals additional damage in a 6-meter radius, applying minor defile to all enemies once every 4 seconds. Hemorrhaging has a reduction of 58% per tick, but it now will stack up to 3 times, increasing damage by 100% per stack. This results in a 25% damage increase at max stacks compared to before, while dealing less damage if you cannot keep the stacks active. So the damage now updates dynamically, basically, and it will no longer apply minor mangle. Overcharged is increased by 106%, and it now restores 65 magicka. Poisoned will reduce the damage by 30%, and reduces the duration from 4 seconds, or to 4 seconds down from 6, but it is now considered an execute damage and deals up to 100% bonus damage to targets under 100% health. So now it updates dynamically per tick as well. And then last but not least, Sundered increased the damage by 106% and now grants you 100 weapon and spell damage for 4 seconds. So they basically are trying to align the status effects, like things that were dots, like burning and poisoned and hemorrhaging. Well, not dots, but you know what I'm saying. Those effects were much higher used over the direct damage stuff. So now they're trying to align each of those, but give them their own flavor, so that people can use stuff outside of, you know, flame, poison, and bleed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I was better at understanding what I just read.
It sounds like the damage over time things still have the potential to be the better, or the stronger damage dealers, but they're going to require a bit more upkeep.
Yeah, yes.
So you can't just like cast an ability, set an enemy, on fire, burning, and then just run off for the next 30 seconds doing everything else. You're going to have to make sure that you're reapplying. Hemorrhaging, I think, is the one that read that way the most, because it said it stacks up to 3 times, increasing damage by 100% per stack. It's a 25% damage increase when it max stacks when compared to before, but dealing less damage if you can't consistently keep the stacks active.
Yeah.
So, and then some of the other abilities, they got 106% or about 106% increase to their damage, because I guess those are the direct damage. They just hit once and it's done.
Yeah, exactly. So it says that they'll deal more damage than before, but then less overall per application, because they have additional effects that go with them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to give more utility because of the lack in total damage.
I think it's a little odd that poison, just not because poison and execute seem odd thematically, because poison is kind of slow, Generally, like, you think poison is sort of a slow killer, but when you think of execute damage, it's like it deals just big chunks of damage immediately because you're at that phase. I mean, I don't know what it would have gone better with, and I guess they're just trying to add a little something to everything. But that does seem
Yeah.
that seems theme wise that seems a little odd.
Right. Right. Yeah, it looks like the buffs and debuffs for major and minor vitality and major and minor defile are also getting adjusted. So it basically says updated these buffs to increase healing and healing received and damage shield strength. And then it gives the numbers. And then it says also updated debuffs to decrease healing received and damage shield strength. So yeah, it says opening vitality to influence damage shield effectiveness in hopes that it will differentiate the buff types more from mending. I'm not a healer. So, I mean, I know that's not specific to healers because anybody can have those buffs and debuffs, but still. I guess basically what it's looking for is they're adjusting to make sure that there is a negative side to it, basically, so that they can work in tandem. I don't know. Then it goes into some Arcanist stuff. They're basically making a pass at the Arcanist to go through and look at stuff now that it's been out for over half a year. So, it says, now that the Arcanist has been out for over half a year, we're utilizing a lot of the data we're seeing to make cautious adjustments. Our goal is to slightly peel back the ease of damage production in hopes to incentivize slightly more complex rotations to regain damage, while simultaneously cleaning up some of the morph power disparity and oversight, with pragmatic being a little too powerful and not following typical damage shield behaviors. And then it goes into a lot of different things. Is there anything in Dragon Knight here that you think is interesting? I mean, I know you tank with a Templar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a DK.
No, I have a DK, but I don't really play it. I pretty much do everything on the Templar. Let's see. Passive increases damage done. The buff there. No, nothing fixed an issue. I mean, it's just a fix. So,
Yeah.
no, they talked about the. We've already touched on the blast bones changes. That was mentioned earlier.
Yep.
How about your Nightblade?
Well, some things be happening there. So, under the incapacitating strike stuff, it says they are increasing the damage done to the enhanced version by 10%, and extending the duration of its effects up to 12 seconds, and it no longer grants Reeve. So, like, right now, if you have it slotted on your bar, it gives you Reeve, like, automatically, I think. Basically, what they're doing with this is both of them right now grant a passive and active effect. Now, what they're going to do is one will grant a passive effect, and one will grant, like, one version of it grants passive, one version grants, like, an active effect, basically. So, if you do Soul Harvest, now you get, like, printing ultimate, basically, in high kill count. Whereas if you do Incapacitating Strike, it'll save up extra ultimate, or you'll be saving up ultimate and get more of a bonus on your cast. Soul Harvest, though, which is nice, the morph of Soul Harvest will now persist through your bar swap. So you can just have it on one bar, basically. Let's see.
And what is that slotted bonus?
It does not say, and I cannot remember. I would have to look. Hold on. Let me see if I can pop in there really quick. I'm trying to remember what that's under. I think that's under assassination. Maybe not.
It says assassination.
That's what I thought too, but I must not have it morphed.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't know.
No, that's all right.
I could
The
have sworn I had it. Anyway.
so Soul Harvest, the slotted passive persists through bar swaps. They've been doing that with a few other skills as well. I don't remember which one specifically, but yeah, they're doing that with a couple of different skills, and I kind of like that. Which, I mean, mostly what I've been playing lately has been a lot of one bar stuff, because I'm just using the oh my gosh, the ring. I'm drawing a blank.
Circle of Protection?
No, the mythic ring that gives you the. Oh, you only have one bar.
Oaken Soul?
That's it. So, but I used to have a lot of those, like the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild abilities that gave you the buffs for being slotted. I would have those slotted on both bars and just not have as many skills on either bar, just so I could keep those buffs active. I'm not the most creative build guy, and I don't really want super complicated rotations, so that just made it easy for me to keep those things up. But yeah, anything else?
Concealed Weapon gets 10% increased damage after you leave stealth or invisibility, and you get an additional 10% damage after for 15 seconds. So now it doesn't give you Major Berserk, but it will give you 10% increased damage and an additional 10% damage for 15 seconds after leaving stealth or invisibility.
So does that mean if you attack from stealth for 15 seconds, you're gonna have
Yes.
an extra 10% damage? So if you can find another source of Major Berserk, then now you've just got extra.
Yep.
So that could potentially work out in your favor.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset about that being removed, but there's quite a few people who are like, no, just give it a try. You're not going to lose too much damage overall. You just have to figure out, a different place basically to get that from. Siphoning Strikes has a lot of reworks to it because of the morphs.
Real quick, I just noticed too that the morph of the other morph also are the same. It says it also persists through bar swap.
Yep.
I don't know if you said that or not.
I don't remember.
Okay, carry on.
There's quite a bit of stuff in siphoning. You can go ahead and read that if you'd like to, because it's got a couple different things. And then it goes into Sorks, which we, again, sort of touched on that already.
Yeah, they're just trying to make them stronger with non-pit builds, is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Warden's getting some changes. Guild, some of the guild skills are getting some changes.
Yeah. Inner Fire, Inner Beast, Inner Rage. Oh, it says, we're cleaning up behavior we've seen with Inner Beast. This is on the Wardens, where sometimes damage dealers will take the morph to increase their overall DPS, causing conflict in a group content with actual tanks. Inner Beast is intended for tanks that don't want to sacrifice too much damage so they can play more like a bruiser. So we're shifting the damage bonus to the actual ability itself. This will allow builds to treat this as their spammable and their taunt, rather than creating a weird situation where it can be used to buff your overall damage. Huh. Lots of item sets, class set fixes, trial set fixes, zone quest fixes. Sunspire.
Fixing an NPC, exiting an interaction with Fernvek. I don't know. No longer causes him to air drum.
Oh.
That should have been a feature, not a bug. Come on, Zoss. How to get him to play the air drum. Yeah, there's a lot of little...
Yeah, there's a lot of like little things here and there. Infinite Archive gets some general updates. So Thoat will now get 10% more XP when slain by duo players. You can no longer buy too much of an item fragment beyond the amount you need as well. And threads will no longer be removed erroneously if monsters evade while you're still engaged with them. Knocking enemies from the stages within will no longer result in stalled progress or thread loss, because I think that had to do with if you knocked something off a platform. Fire Orb can no longer be removed by enemies. Lady Thorn no longer has a chance to remain untargetable after using her scatter ability. Oh man, they finally patched the Witches Fest bug. Fixed an issue with the Crowborn Horror where the fight would stall due to the boss being unable to cast ominous gravestones. Do you remember how it would get like halfway through last year and then you could just like beat it until it like it wouldn't fight back? It would just stand there and you could just kill it.
I don't think I remember there being some weird stuff happening. I don't remember specifically. Yeah.
Looks like we might have a Zeal of Zenithar event coming at some point because it sure does say that they were testing it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. That's all questing stuff, housing and furnishing things. They've made some visual adjustments. I know that one of those things is to the curtains that are above us right now, which currently look blue, but apparently they're going to be turning mauve, I think is what it is. Lots of different like adjustments for housing and pivot points and yeah. Ooh, they are now going to have collectible furnishings. It says the updated categories of the following collectible furnishings will be courtyard/statues. So it's basically like Namira's statue, Ascentrot, the Ascendant Lord, and the Statue of Gloria, whatever that is. Individual fixes for the zones for quests. I love this note. Fixed yet another batch of floating books, cats, people, monsters, trees, rocks. Gravity is a fickle beast in Tamriel. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I am so flipping excited.
Okay, where you at?
I'm in the UI. Do you know what I'm excited about? Are you going to try and figure it out?
You'll
be able to figure it out really easily.
I'm trying to find where you're...
I'm almost at the bottom.
General, after all of the zones.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This one is very important to me.
Gift notes, fix an issue or loot text. Added additional support for PlayStation controller on PC.
That's the one. Oh my gosh,
Further
am I
match
gonna...
buttons and iconography.
Am I gonna be able to actually use it without having to go through like another app?
Translating.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so currently I use DS4 Windows for the game, which means that I get Xbox controller buttons. So like literally when I started playing on PC, it was a good thing that I had all of my buttons memorized and what they do, because I just don't even pay attention to what the button is listed as on the bottom. I just press it. And I purposely, it's one of the reasons why I made my character exactly the same on both the consoles, is because I didn't want to have to relearn a rotation with stuff in a different spot.
Right.
So I literally have all of my same skills in the same spot on PlayStation as on PC, and it's so that I can have muscle memory. Isn't that silly? But I'm so excited for that. I want to know if that means that like you can use it, like it will auto recognize it and you can just have it through the controller UI like automatically in PC, or if it means that you still have to use like a third-party app, like if you plug in your PS5 controller, the game's just going to recognize it or not. I don't know.
It sounds like that's what they're working toward.
That's amazing.
Well, I don't play on PC, so
Well,
I don't have one of them red names.
some of us do. My name's not red. It's gold.
Yeah, it is now. You ascended the ranks of the traders.
I've reached Chim. I'm just kidding. Oh boy. Anyway, let's see what else there. Am I hearing some shade coming from you, Never? That's what Peanut said in the chat.
Oh, that shade is that tree has been blooming for a long time.
He said that trees had lots of shade for a long time. There's been full leaves. In the fall, the leaves don't even fall off.
Nope. No, it's an artificial tree.
It was not released 2 years before Peanut. It was released 1 year before. The console anniversary is in June of 25. That's why the celebration is going on for a year. But even so. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
They added a couple new play styles, the group finder, so if you want to role play or play story, that's now an option.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They also reordered the group finder to drop down in the gamepad UI to match the keyboard UI drop downs, which is cool. Guilds and guild functionality. Oh, I kind of like this first one. Guild history events that you participated in are now visible regardless of permissions. This allows you to keep track of something like your own past gold deposits in the guild bank, even without permission to see the other transactions. So it means like if you accidentally deposit or intentionally deposit, you can see it even if you don't have permissions to view the transactions. It won't show you everybody else's, it'll just show you yours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think that's it. Like, there's a lot of other things in there that we could go over, but those are the ones that kind of stick out to us most notably, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of stuff in there. I mean, if you touch on all of this stuff, especially when you figure a lot of it being fixes and, just a lot of little small changes to the way things work. And yeah, we'll link it if you want to spend your afternoon reading through that. It's not light reading, so
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Lots of numbers.
That's why it seemed kind of. We didn't pre-read and take notes like we probably should have if we were professional podcasters. That's why it seemed to kind of slow down going through that, because we were trying to look over it, and close enough to see if anything looked interesting, but not so close as to read every word and take all night.
Some of the theory crafters have done a really great job of breaking down some of those new changes to like the skills and the passives and the changes to individual classes and things like that. So definitely head over and check some of their content out because they have done a great job at curating a lot of that information since they've been playing on the PTS.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what kind of really bad builds people come up with that new mythic.
I'm telling you, you're going to be surprised.
No, I think people would come up with some really creative ways to make bad builds.
No, I'm thinking it's not going to be that bad. That's what I was trying to say.
I think that if anybody actually recommends using that for anything, it's going to be pretty surprising. I just can't wrap my brain around it. How it just sounds so bad. So bad.
What is it called again? The...
I don't know. The touch of terribleness.
I'm scrolling back up. The touch of terrible. You're so silly.
I mean, you give up so much and to gain so little because, 20% is off of, you may get a 20% increase, but it's a 20% increase to a lower number.
Yeah.
Because you're dropping all of your extra weapon and spell damage and crit chance and crit damage, in addition to any kind of five-piece procs that may deal damage or monster set things that may deal damage, or any other buffs that you may get if you've got a set that when you do a thing you get sorcery or one of those buffs or something that increases your stats again. I can't. Like I said, I'm not the best theory crafter, but nothing about that sounds good to me. It really sounds like poop.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Hack or Skinny or any of you guys, Delta, prove me wrong. It's not hard to do when it comes to builds, so don't make too big a deal of it. But I'm curious to see if somebody's like, oh, this thing actually is good if you do this with it, because I'm not seeing it.
For sure. For sure.
So,
without really delving even deeper into everything or taking some other notes. Yeah, actually, that's a really great point, Moki. Moki just said it would be an interesting thing to use as baseline for your parsing.
I mean, I guess if you like smacking target dummies over and over again, yeah.
I mean, for those groups that want a flat, what's your flat damage with no extra anything?
But would that, if for a group like that, would that extra 20% not count as extra something though?
Yeah, I guess it would.
I mean,
yeah, I guess it would.
I think again, you can just equip, go craft yourself a gear set with no items, bonuses. Yeah. I mean, you get the same thing minus the 20%. I mean, like you said, it is one piece of gear to keep in your inventory that allows you to just throw that on, and but then I don't know. The parsing thing doesn't come into my consideration. It's not something I do regularly enough. I know for people that are managing trial groups and stuff, that's more important. So maybe it has its use there, but as far as going out and doing any actual content, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure either.
So let's see if somebody can. Let's see if somebody can make me go, there it is. Well,
they did it. They did it. You know what else? We did it.
We did. So glad we could end on a high note there and my criticism of what I think is a terrible item.
Mm-hmm.
But Other stuff sounds cool. So
Yeah, I did a little bit of watching. I should have researched it better, but I did a little bit of watching of some of the stuff on the Nightblade changes and the reductions and changing of Major Berserk and all of that. But
hmm
a lot of it just makes my head hurt. So I'll probably just leave my stuff the same. Just look at somebody's updated CP for Nightblades.
yeah.
Leave it at that.
Now it does sound like there's potential for Nightblades to hit harder because they're just getting a flat damage bonus. It's not a buff. So if you can just
Yeah.
get that buff back, and I say just get it back, like that doesn't involve reworking something, but um, so many of those, especially in group content. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff you get from other party members too, right?
Yeah.
Is it not? Is it Major Berserk you get? Do you get that from Warhorn?
Yeah, you can get it from there.
So if you're in a group that's running, you've got somebody running Warhorn, you're going to get that anyway. So now you have that buff back, and you just have that extra 10% damage.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
if I'm not mistaken, on that being the buff you get from that, but. So yeah, there's definitely some things that sound interesting in there, but and some things that we'll just kind of have to see how it plays out. That's how all those combat changes go. I mean, you just have to kind of have to wait and see how they play out. Somebody may find ways to actually get more out of what seemed like a nerf. You know, that's what the creative people out there are known for. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did lose
Indeed.
Gwen along the way,
We did.
but glad she got to be with us for most of it. She got to mention a few things for the patch notes that she found interesting, but I think that that pretty much covers everything we have for this week, right?
I think that wraps it up.
So, Moki, it's too bad you're not actually in here with us. We could just let you tell us about about your Monday night event. But
Mm-hmm.
we do have some guild announcements. Just kind of a rundown, real quick, of what we do in our guild on PlayStation, because that is where I play solely, and that's where the others play sometimes, because they are cross-platform traders.
Wow.
I'm sorry, cross-platform trading's not allowed. My bad. Uh,
Wow. Wow. I can feel Gwen rolling her eyes at you.
yeah, I think I just heard him hit the floor. So we've got Monday nights, Mondays with Moki, fishing, Cyrodiil, or other fun activities. That starts at 8 Eastern. Group up around 7:30. Come hang out. Moki's great, and has helped people get, including Gwen, get their fishing achievements so they can get the lovely boat that we're currently sitting on. If you are watching the stream or the video playback later. We've got Treacherous Tuesdays. It's a dungeon day. Go in, get a group together, run some dungeons, story mode, hard mode, gear farms, or just roaming around in circles, looking at all the pretty sights. Whatever.
Yeah.
Screenshot mode. There we go. Story mode, hard mode, screenshot mode, dungeon
Yeah,
runs of
okay.
all
Are
types.
you is that a joke at me?
I wasn't joking.
That's true. It's not a joke. I do take screenshot mode every time we go into a new dungeon.
Yes, you do. New dungeons. I'm pretty sure you did that in Banished Cells the other day.
I did. And you know what? You know what they get used for? Our promo stuff.
Yes, they do. I wasn't complaining.
The background on pre-show tree show is stuff that I've taken when we've been in dungeons.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining. I was just saying, whatever you want to do in the dungeon, that's the day that we say this is our kind of designated day for doing those things. You don't have to do it that day, but that's just the day that we say today's a good day for dungeons. because it's
Today's
treacherous.
a good day to die.
Every day is a good day to die.
Oh. Yes,
Death is
Smokey,
for
you're
the
right.
living.
Screenshots are serious. It's a serious business. If I had time for another social media account, I'd probably have a Tamriel screenshot account, but I don't have time for that. Anyway.
Interesting. Okay. And then the last one that we have is Fearless Friday with Arthuria Dragoon. That is the Undaunted.
Undaunted.
Undaunted?
We
We are Undaunted?
Undaunted.
Event that Arthuria Dragoon hosts, and that is also at 8 Eastern. So come hang out and do some Undaunted things. Daily delves, pledges, all that good stuff. And yeah, I guess the requirement for that, for the dungeons at least, would be level 10.
Yep. Well, it depends on the dungeon, but
yeah.
level 10.
Yeah.
Typically.
But you can't do the pledges until you're at least level 10, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then if you have want to reach out and say hello, ask a question, give some feedback, you can probably do that. Can they do that?
They can do that.
Okay. How can they do that?
They can do that by following us on the platform formerly known as Twitter, now X, at Snugpod Cast. They can also send us an email that I will read, even though everyone says I'm too young to read it.
Wait,
At Snug...
they can send us a what?
An email.
What is that?
Okay. It's where you do the typey thing and the clicky thing.
On the clickety clackers.
And then you send it to us. And it gets delivered via the interwebs.
Oh,
anyway.
The Webernet. Got it.
Yes. snugpodcast@gmail.com. Peanut says, "Defudge is Nemo." Okay. Anyway. You can also,
we don't have email, though. We have Gmail.
Oh. I'm glad you're cracking yourself up over there.
Hey, yes. Are you not entertained? Because I am.
I'm giving you the thumbs down like happens in Gladiator, because you just said, "Are you not entertained?"
Are you going to kick me off in a pit now?
Yes,
Is it going to be, you're going to kick me off in the Oathsworn pit?
I'm slowly holding my hand out, and I'm slowly turning my thumb down towards the ground. Anyway. Hopefully you're here with us, and if you are, we are at twitch.tv/snugpodcast. But if you are not here with us and you'd like to watch us, you can also find us on YouTube by searching for Snug Podcast. Beyond that, if you don't like to watch, but you want to listen, where can they find us, Never?
Anywhere that you might listen to a podcast, but not Google Podcasts anymore, because that's moving to YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that's true. On your podcatcher of choice.
I got booted.
Oh, womp womp.
So, I guess just in case any of that got cut out, because they haven't put in podcast mode yet.
They have not.
Yeah. You can find us on any of your podcast apps, and that would be how you would go about listening to the show if you wanted to listen and not watch.
That's right. That is right. You can also always leave us a review either in our email, or you can leave us a 5-star if you'd like to on Spotify or Google. Yeah. So there you go. If you'd like to join the guild because you think that we're crazy enough that you might want to come hang out with us, you can find us at loreseekers.club. From there, it's just a quick join of Discord. We have a new application process. It's mostly the same, but now it's a drop-down menu. You don't have to do /apply anymore. So we're hoping that helps people out. So you can do the little pull-down menu, and you can apply, and then it'll send you a quick DM that you can answer a few questions, and we find out and help you figure out if you're a good fit for us and our guild. And then if you are, you get all added into everything, and we get those invites out to you as soon as we can.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how how you can join the guild. I'm getting distracted by our chat. Sorry. Apparently our episodes are up on Apple because we just had people check, as well as someone said, wait, now we have a dungeon master because I said you get a DM. No, you're not sorry, Peanut. You don't have to be sorry. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Also, if you're listening to this and for some reason you've left the guild, that's okay. It's no hard feelings. And if you decide you want to rejoin, there's also a new drop-down menu for that in the Discord. There you go.
Very cool.
Neato.
I was.
Anything else, Never?
I don't think so. I was trying to find something, but no, we are on Apple. We should have been for a while. Yeah, actually, 28% of our, that's what I was looking for. 28% of our listeners are on Apple Podcasts, 46% on Spotify. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, it goes out to pretty much everything. There's stuff that gets pulled. Anyway, the RSS feeds get pulled by other things that we don't even try to send it to. So, I think you probably should find it anywhere.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else. Maybe this week I will be able to find some time to explore Tamriel. I want to get a little further along in Ember's quest line since I just got the next step. That was kind of what I was looking to work on next. But I will not, I don't know if next week, if you guys want to try to still do a show, I won't be here. And I'm not real sure about the week after that. What time I'm going to be getting home. But I will be gone next week. So
Nuh-uh, because I'll see you.
yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we haven't gotten details worked out on that, but hopefully we get that arranged.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess if that's it, then until next time, have a good week. Take care of yourself, take care of others, and we will see you next time.
Sleep well, Tamriel.